Welcome to Cut the Sith Reading Club episode 16. We're an unofficial Star Wars reading club for fans by fans, and today we dive into the High Republic. So we start discussing Light of the Jedi Part 1, The Great Disaster by Charles Soule. I'm your host, as always, Grand Master Colin McSorley, the greatest, the greatness. I reviewed High Republic issue 1 from Marvel Comics, so you should check that out on the YouTube channel as well.
Yes, they should.
And Ryan, how you doing?
I am doing well. How are you?
Could be better. I'm having a bad hair day.
Understandable. I don't have that problem.
Speaking of bad hair days, Alex, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I think I'm having a good hair day today. I think I'm having a good hair day. But hello, everybody.
I only said that because you shaved your head. Young Steven.
I'm having a too much hair day right now. Honestly, I need to get this cut down, but not quite at Anakin levels yet, but it's getting there.
Yona, how's your head feeling since you
I
read
also
the
need to
entire?
read that. I need a haircut.
You read the entire part 1 today.
I did.
So how's your brain feel?
It's freshest in your mind, so yeah. Let's hear from you first.
So this again goes back to Thrawn. I hate so many characters get introduced. We get no backstory.
There's a lot.
But especially in this one, because it's like the first 4 chapters, everyone you get introduced to dies by the end of the chapter, which I both loved and hated because some of the characters seemed interesting.
You guys keep talking.
I like this so
I'm gonna
far.
look for something.
I like this a lot.
I loved the first chapter. I felt like that was a great intro and whole beginning into everything. And especially it's like the whole time in the first chapter while I was listening to it, I was rooting for her so hard. I was like, nah, she dies.
Right.
I mean, like everything around, I was like, nah, she's gonna save everybody. And then at the end where they're like, it ripped apart. I was like, God damn it.
And then it was the what are they called? The tech scanners next, whatever those.
Third class. I was really bummed that he didn't get a chance to ask that Twi'lek girl at the bar out. I'm just like, man, dude got robbed. This was his moment. This was his day. He was finally going to talk to that cute Twi'lek girl at the bar.
Right.
No.
Colin.
I said talk for a moment. I'm looking for something.
So I think to build on the fact that, there's so many characters that are introduced in the story, there isn't really a main character per se, which is fine, but it's just kind of like, I guess it's hard for me to like get behind this ensemble cast without having like, I guess the closest would be Avar Chris, but like there isn't really like the one main character that everybody kind of like rallies around, like the main like hero or heroine of the book.
Now, is the main hero or heroine just going to be the Force?
I think.
All right, guys, I'll see
Screen
that.
sharing.
Bam.
You're fancy.
They made a
go,
goddamn
brother.
chart about
There we
all
go,
the
brother.
characters.
All right.
This
Because
is helpful.
Look at this shit.
I was gonna say, if anybody is going to be the central character, I mean, not for nothing, I think our dearest Avar took that mantle
Look
up
at
on
these
herself.
psychopaths. They introduce all of these characters. Not all of them in this book, but
Especially
there's
that Wookiee.
way too many people at one time.
That's a lot of people.
I was looking at this chart every time. I
Hmm.
posted this in the Discord, so
I should look at the Discord more. Thank you for
I
that
don't know who made this, but
endorsement.
But they did a hell of a job.
Is that like an official one or is that a fan-made one?
I think this is fan made. I seen it being spread around on Twitter. I think it was fan made. I threw it in the Discord.
Mm-hmm.
In let me see what part. I think in the one under books. Yeah, in books. I put it in the Discord on December 28th. So it was before. Yeah, so someone made it before the book even came out. And yeah, I just have to keep looking back at this, and
I love it. It's like that's what people did like back when all we had to go on was just the action figures and shit.
Yep.
And the only bits and pieces of the lore that we'd pick up on this upcoming movie was like the little bits and pieces, the flavor that we'd read on the back of the toys, and it's just like, oh neat. Okay. I feel like it's harder with a medium such as this, where there are so many brand new people like being introduced, and like the only established character we have is like that war criminal Yoda, who's 300 years younger at this point in time. But
Yeah, for me, it's always been hard with the books because I can't put a face to it, which is why I needed that chart. The movies and the TV shows, when they introduce someone, I know what they look like. So it's like I have an image in my head. And even when they describe, I don't have the encyclopedic knowledge that Steve does of all the Star Wars races. So even when they like describe what like race this person is, I'm like still like I gotta Google what this dude looks like.
You didn't have to Google the Deveronians. As soon as there was a
No way,
Deveronian
baby.
character in the council, you were just like, oh man, I know what that is.
I know Lord Deborah.
They gave her a weird accent on the audiobook. It was like a weird like
Oh, you have the audiobook too?
I listened to a little bit of it, but I ran into the same issue that you did, where it's just like I read much faster than the audiobook goes, and like on days where maybe I'd be doing errands or something like that, like I'd listen to the audiobook just to like give myself a refresher. But then last night I was like, no, these chapters are super short. I'm just gonna read them. But
Yeah,
even
they felt
then
like
too,
New Dawn there. That's how they felt like New Dawn. New Dawn chapters like 5 to
That's
7
exactly
pages.
what it felt like for me.
it was like some Da Vinci Code level stuff, where it's like the chapters are like 2 pages and you feel really smart for going through this book so quickly. No, but like a lot of the new alien creatures and whatnot that they describe is like, I don't really know what they look like. Like some of them seemed like brand new characters or like brand new species. Speaking of brand new developments, I guess this is around the time that Bacta was first developed. I thought that was a really neat little nod, that it was just like, they don't really have the advanced medicinal, like, technology like Bacta. It's still relatively new as a phenomenon. And like, I was just kind of like, oh, that's neat. That gives me a little bit of more context as to like why stuff is probably a little bit more deadly or a little bit more lethal back in that day, because you don't have that magic like healing juice that you had in the contemporary age.
Honestly, I was super thrown off about that when they were like, oh, this new plant Bacta. I was like, hold on, guys, I thought we've had Bacta for a millennium. Like I was just I mean, I know it's not like a big thing to the story, even though they seem to be bringing it up a lot. So I feel like Bacta is going to end up playing some key role to some extent, whether it's, who's going to harvest it, who's going to have the control of the Bacta. But I feel like they were laying a little bit more heavy on that than they needed to. Like, I feel like it just gets brought up a little, one too many times for Alex's conspiracy mind not to start ringing.
Colin.
Yo.
Did you think Goku Spirit Bomb at the end there? Can't have been the only one.
So as of right now, who's everybody gravitating to the most?
Loading Great Storm and Bel Zetafar. I think that's how you pronounce their names. I have no idea.
That was pretty good.
I knew Great Storm. I was like, I can't mess that one up.
I'm not sure.
Naturally, Steve went with the Wookiee.
Because Wookiees are the best.
Ryan, you can't
that
say
makes me and Ryan enemies because you like the Trandoshans and I like the Wookiees. I guess that makes us enemies.
Wait, he is in the book. He's mentioned.
He's mentioned like in one sentence.
They're helping, okay? They're helping.
He is great in the comic book.
I will also say, in addition to Buryaga, like Wookiee biases aside, I really like Avar a lot. I want to know more about her. I think the fact that she can use what seems to be battle meditation, but like in a guiding, like not really like I'm going to take over and basically like guide everybody's actions so much as it's just like I'm a conduit through which I can tell what's going on in the galaxy and I can like redirect resources like in a much less invasive way. The fact that she uses battle meditation like that is pretty awesome. So.
It's Force Cerebro.
Yeah, honestly. Like
they just sense in them all.
I loved that whole, even the build up to that actual scene, like, her asking anybody if they want to leave and essentially all of them being like, bitch, you ain't getting all the glory today. And even when she starts meditating and she starts floating a little bit, and then the lightsaber, I loved especially the wording and all the vernacular they were using to do a lot of the descriptions in this. I thought were super spot on in comparison to some other ways they could have. But I'm with Steve. Like Avar is probably like she's the one I'm really clamoring to know more about because I feel like she's super powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the Jedi are lucky because she seems like a super nice lady too, on top of everything else, and very philosophical and logical and all that. But God damn, were they
It's
powerful?
way better than Yoda.
Yeah, honestly. I mean,
Way
shit,
better.
battle meditation, like that's crazy.
It gave me a little bit of Bastila vibes, given that like this new, like the High Republic is sort of like the replacement to the Old Republic, and I thought that the High Republic took place like about 1,000 years before Phantom Menace, but this is only like what 200, 300 years beforehand or something.
Yeah, it goes from like 200 years to like 50 years. Because I think Acolyte's 50 years before, and that's supposed to be the end of it.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
And I think, does the Chinese book mention something about that? I think the Chinese book mentions something.
Has that
about
been
like
fully translated at this point yet?
I haven't looked into it. I've seen some YouTubers very upset that there's a Chinese book mentioning it, but that's the only thing I've seen so far. If it gets translated, I'm definitely going to just listen to it. I will not be reading.
See if I can find a translation at some point too. Apart from this book too, like, and Colin, stop me if I'm not doing this topic correctly. Like, what other High Republic stuff have you guys read, if anything, apart from Light of the Jedi at this point? We're a couple weeks in to High Republic. I know Colin over here has read and reviewed the first issue of the High Republic comic book, but I wasn't
on the YouTube
sure.
channel.
It's on the YouTube channel. Take a look, like, comment, subscribe. But I wasn't sure if any of you other gentlemen had seen or read any of the other properties as we're
I read
going
another
through High
book.
Republic, Light of the Jedi.
I read The Great Jedi Rescue, which is the one geared towards like preschoolers, and it comes with stickers. And I'm like, why don't adult books come with stickers? And
I mean, I feel
pretty
don't get me wrong. I
played
love
it off pretty suave too, because I was watching my nieces. One's 3 years old, the one's 7 months old.
Oh God, they trust you?
So
He's very good with kids.
Yeah, thank you, Alex. So I read the book to myself, and then I just like left it on their table and left.
Nice.
Well, that was sweet of you.
The sacred Jedi
texts. Pretended I bought it for them. I was like, I bought this for myself. But that is basically just like.
Is that the one that Justina Ireland wrote?
That's Test of Courage. That's like the junior level one. I own that too. I haven't started that yet. I think I'm going to start that after I finish Light of the Jedi.
And the Claudia Gray young adult book hasn't come out just yet. Yeah.
Yeah, February. Actually, hold on. I can tell you guys right now because I have them all pre-ordered.
I think it's February 2nd.
I've never read any High Republic that I'm aware of.
The comic's cool. The comic has Scare in it, or
Skier.
And it has his Padawan.
This Padawan's pretty badass.
Yeah,
I mean, I know from Light of the Jedi.
Not to spoil much of the first issue. The first issue deals with her doing her Padawan trials to become a Jedi Knight.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And,
it's pretty rad.
And then, but I haven't got to read Test of Courage yet, because I think I'm going to save Test of Courage for when we finish Light of the Jedi. Because everything says that you should read Light of the Jedi first.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they need you to read Light of the Jedi first or just read The Great Disaster first, because everything takes place after the Great Disaster.
Yeah, that's what I noticed too. Like when I read the first issue of the High Republic comic book, I was like, man, I feel like I'm spoiling Light of the Jedi for myself because of this great Hetzel disaster and like the great hyperspace disaster. And it's just kind of like, oh, so this is like the big inciting event that kind of like jumpstarts this whole movement, basically, this whole era of fiction. So,
and as a side note, Colin, you were right. February 2nd, Into the Dark comes out.
Nice. I can't wait to read that. It'll be good.
There on that, 1,000%. So I brought it up before, but then now that we're all into it, we got to the great disaster and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Hyperspace is fucking wild.
Yeah.
Especially, and it's like, I kind of like the fact that they took something that I don't want to say people took for granted, but I feel like hyperspace was never that big of a, I don't want to say that big of a deal, but they're making hyperspace super fucking scary.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're making it very unpredictable. And especially, at least for me, I'm like, Jesus, this is only 200 years before the Skywalker saga comes out, and like we're still having this big of issues with hyperspace. I like it. I like the fact that they're now taking this abstract idea like hyperspace and kind of using it, you know, kind of like Avar Chris did, as a conduit for all the massive issues that are massive problems that are coming.
I do appreciate that they're kind of doing this stuff incrementally as well within the Star Wars lore. Because one of the things that really bothered me from, like, I didn't read a whole ton of Old Republic books, but I read like the Darth Bane books and like some of the other stuff that took place in like the older eras. And it's just kind of like, the technology really doesn't jump all that much, all that substantially over the course of like 1,000 years or more than 1,000 years. Like, you still have interstellar travel, you still have like Bacta and all this stuff. But in High Republic, they're like, Bacta's still relatively new. Hyperspace is still relatively untamed. And like, we're learning how to expand the galaxy and like outer rim territories and stuff like that. And I really appreciate that they're kind of, you know, staggering out their access to this technology and their access to all this other stuff. It makes it a little bit more believable for me, I think.
I wouldn't, honestly, I wouldn't disagree with that.
Mm-hmm.
I just had to Google what Bacta was. Oh, okay. No,
Yeah.
honestly, I wasn't sure. Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I wish we had Bacta now, you know, in real life. It seems like a lot of Alex's medical problems, especially with my ankle, could be fixed
Oh,
relatively
I thought you were going to
quickly.
talk about other medical problems.
No, we're recording.
We'll get demonetized, Colin. Yeah, anyway.
So how are we all feeling about denial?
I mean, we don't really see much of them until
They just
except for
show
that
up at the
interlude.
very end. Yeah, like, I want to know more about them.
What was it? Abdallas? Was that the place they attacked?
Abdallas, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They killed, what, 20 million people? They fucked that place up. They ain't no Jedi here, motherfuckers.
That's where my display name comes from. Because like, after I finished reading that part last night, I just sent Colin that template of SpongeBob and Patrick in the middle of the burning city, being like, "We did it, Avar. We saved Hetzal." And it's just like, when Abdallah still gets hit and 20 million die because you sent all the Jedi to one place and didn't account for like the far-reaching and like, this happens too, like right after they do that whole thing where like all the Jedi reach out through the Force and like just do that giant like force pull like as one cohesive unit, and everyone's like, "Oh, we're so great, we did it." And then the next chapter is just like, surprise, more debris came out and hit another system and 20 million people died because all the Jedi were somewhere else. I'm like, god damn, even hundreds of years in the past, these guys suck so much.
Well, I mean, truthfully, even Starlight Beacon, like honestly, Starlight Beacon to me is just a monument of all of their arrogance at the end of the day. Like, yeah, don't get me wrong, I feel them. Like, yes, you want to expand, you want to have a main headquarters, not only for the Jedi, but also for the Republic. But I'm also like, guys, couldn't have downscaled this like just a little bit?
It reminds me a little bit of the Watchtower from Justice League, when they first started talking about the Starlight Beacon, and like, you see little bits and pieces of it in the first issue of the comic book. I was like, the Jedi built their own Watchtower. That's pretty wild.
I mean, pretty much.
Yeah, they show Starlight Beacon in, I think, the Star Wars comic that's coming out. That's out right now, the one that Charles Soule writes, because I think that has to do with a lot of what they're currently planning. It's called, because it's called Operation Starlight. I think they're going to Starlight Beacon for some reason. I should know because I read all those issues twice when I was fucking reviewing them. I completely forget what Operation Starlight was. I don't
You're
really
gonna have to watch your own video to do some canon review, Colin.
And you can tell when I'm doing the main Star Wars book, if Zara's not in the issue, I don't give a shit. She's the best character. I love her. She just wants to stab Leia in the throat.
The Ass Queen.
Does anybody remember the name? I forget what chapter it was, but I really liked the specific captain of the ship. Now, granted, he had this weird rig.
Was it Captain Bright?
The one that ends up sacrificing himself instead of the droid. He makes the droid carry up the last crew member he finds in the corner, and he stays behind himself. And then he gets in. We are all the dead.
Yeah,
we're all the Republic.
Fucking chapter dead. I told Colin that
The head of cassette.
Hmm?
Was it head of cassette?
I thought Cassette was the one.
I know that's one of the people.
Cassette was from the first chapter where she was operating the ship that got blammoed.
Captain Inman?
Yeah, that might be.
Inman, yeah.
There's too many
Who
people.
am I thinking of?
Wait.
There needs to be a glossary. Like, is there a glossary at the start of the book? Like, because I have the Kindle version. I don't have like the physical release. Do they have like Thrawn Just Ascendancy did? Like, do they have
No, they just have a
like a
timeline.
little no dramatis personae or anything like that you can reference?
Nope.
That's a shame.
Which is why
Shame.
the only thing in that list that picture I showed you, I'm pretty sure that's only the Jedi in it. So the non-Jedi character are not on that picture.
Yeah, like that one husband and wife like pilot duo. They're pretty rad. I like them a lot. I like how they make fun of the space wizards.
Space wizards.
And also, like, I kind of like how like popular and celebrity like all the Jedi are during this time. You know, everyone's like, "Oh, Jedi, save us, save us!" And then
you can see how they just completely let their guard down over the years because they're treated like goddamn celebrities,
and they're like at the height of their power here,
and
too.
they have no like real enemies, so they're just like just fucking enjoying life until Palpatine fucks them.
So I did like Great Storm. I am pretty into his character, especially that whole little part between him and the guard. I forget exactly what he says, but because his accent is too good.
What's his accent? Do it for us. Unless it's offensive.
I was gonna say, don't make me do it, man. Please don't make me do it. Someone's gonna get royally pissed off. More or less, they give him like a super thick Jamaican accent.
Love it.
Which I'm like, all right, I guess I can see it for an old Twi'lek. That's cool. But there's just I told Colin like there was a few points. Maybe I was getting a little too emotional because it was new Star Wars. But there was a few points where, and especially just like I had already read that excerpt from chapter 1 when they released it back then, but I got so encapsulated into it that I listened to the entire first part. I took the day off it came out.
Nice.
And I did nothing but just sit there and read and tell Colin like I'm getting way too emotional about all of this right now.
And I started it on Saturday.
Hey, I started it Sunday. Started it Sunday. Only read 2 chapters. Read everything today.
I thought you did the entire book today.
Well, I listened to I listened to
Didn't know you did like
the
8
audiobook
pages.
last night and ended up rereading everything I had listened to because I didn't, nothing stuck. First 2 chapters Sunday afternoon and the whole thing today, pretty much.
Honestly, I'm almost done with the book.
I stopped when I was supposed to stop.
I stopped when I was supposed to stop.
I knew Alex was going to spoil it. He definitely wants to spoil more of the Nile.
Of course I do. All right, but I'm not going to because in 2 weeks' time, everyone will know.
No, they won't.
Yes, they will.
Wait, are we
won't.
done with the whole book in 2 weeks? February?
No, just part 2.
We have it's three acts. Like there's
Come on, Yona. Act like you've been here before. The books are always 3 meetings.
Well, no, I didn't know if this one we were just crushing through. It seems like, well, I've been AWOL for a little bit, so.
I mean, the other thing too is like the chapters are super short, so like I
Yeah.
totally get why you would have assumed that as well. I don't really know what to expect in the next part.
Also,
honestly.
part 3 is like 70 pages.
Yeah.
So it's like nothing.
Well, they're setting this up for a trilogy, right?
Well, that's the thing. I don't know if there's going to be a sequel to this book or it's just going to be the entire universe of the High Republic books.
See, I thought Light of the Jedi was like the first installment of High Republic, and there were going to be like 3 distinct phases of High Republic. There was going to be like Light of the Jedi, the Trials of the Jedi, and then like some other like I don't remember what the third
Jedi.
one's called right now. Not quite Fall of the Jedi, but I think maybe like the obsolescence of the Jedi. At least that's what I would call it if it was me. The planned obsolescence of the Jedi.
I don't think I can pronounce that.
I know
My tongue works.
I know Light of the Jedi, just from listening to that hour video when all the authors were talking about everything. But I know that a lot of it, or at least what Claudia Gray said, is her book is kind of like going to be more or less like a counterpoint to Light of the Jedi. So I don't not necessarily a sequel, but
I have the name of the phases.
Damn it, I was just looking them up, but go ahead and
Light of
say
the Jedi, Quest of the Jedi, and Trials of the Jedi.
Okay. I got them a little jumbled then. That's fine. Cool. Well, that's exciting.
So are we talking about trials as in order in the court, or
I mean,
Trials and Tribulations.
it's gonna be them.
Ace Attorney, Star Wars edition?
Space Attorney. Ooh, I like Space Attorney. That'll be a great game.
sign me up for that.
I really want the trial where Phoenix Wright cross-examines a Wookiee and doesn't speak any Shriwook. Because I know Colin would really like that a lot too.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Just nonstop. That was a horrible one.
Permission to treat this witness as hostile, Your Honor. Denied.
Ryan, how you think of the book so far since you mysteriously disappeared? He went to eat dinner.
Well, the call of food is not one you ignore.
So
It's
tell
true.
us some things now that you're back.
So, let's see. There is a lot of self-sacrificing going on.
Mm-hmm.
These pretentious assholes all want to get credit for shit. Like, they're not sacrificing themselves to save other people's lives.
hey.
They're sacrificing themselves because they want people to remember them.
We are all the Republic, okay?
Yeah.
That's right, baby. That's right.
They're no King Leonidas. I'm sorry, King Leonidas.
Thank you.
To be fair, though, the 3-man crew there with the droid when they were on the station,
Yes.
how did he know that guy was still alive?
Yeah, true. It could have just been a corpse sitting.
Well, he said his tendrils can feel,
Mhm.
I guess, life signs is what I understood for Nautilans. I didn't know they could do that, but
I didn't know
My
that
tendrils
Nautilans could do
can
that
sense life
either,
signs,
but
too.
easy.
but instead of him carrying the guy, he's like, "All right, droid, stop what you're doing. Go carry him. I'll just wait here."
Yeah, I guess I was a little too wrapped up at that part with all the emotions that I didn't think about that. But yeah, I guess he could have just grabbed him and just kept the droid down there, and that could have been a chapter where all our favorite people actually lived.
Mm-hmm.
But we are all
None of my
the
favorite
Republic.
people died.
I loved, honestly, a lot of these ship captains. Like I like honestly, like I'm usually not like a huge like pilot guy or anything like that when it comes to Star Wars, but some of these captains, I was sitting there like borderline like tearing up. I was like, oh God, he's gonna do it. He's actually gonna get it. Oh no.
And just for the record, it was a normal person's idea, not a Jedi's idea, how to save those people hurtling toward the surface at light speed.
Yep, to be remembered. They're all selfish assholes.
They are. That's true.
Just like... Shit, I don't even remember what her name was. Sienna.
Hmm.
She wanted to sacrifice herself. That was completely selfish too. What I always say, the most unselfish thing a person can do is let others die and just live on with the guilt.
Honestly, indubitably. I
Yeah.
agree.
I don't know if you covered this part yet, but when they were moving, where they were reaching out with the Force to move the container away from the sun. I don't know if you guys already talked about this, but the part where there were Jedis that were just falling off things and killing themselves because they were so focused on the task at hand.
I missed that part.
Oh, there was one line where one of the Jedis fell off a cliff and he was comforting a now this is going to drive me crazy because I remember thinking about it for a little bit as I was reading through. But yes, Ryan, I remember.
Yeah.
That was a good little.
I was like,
dying.
I was like, oh, okay, this is how it's going.
Hey, listen, with great power comes great responsibility, and you got to
That's
pay
a
attention to your
different-
I think
surroundings.
there were a couple that just hurtled toward the infinite vastness of space as they passed out in their ships.
Another thing too is like Avar. You couldn't have
'Cause
done anything about
Because
this.
I don't remember the exact names, but they named 2 Jedi that were lost. And
Try page 110, like 3rd, 4th paragraph. Ra Baroki. Sounds like broccoli, but yeah, he's the one I was talking about that fell off a tower. His daughter had suffered a seizure, and he essentially had his own seizure, fell off a tower while trying to do this thing.
It's just like for all that power, they're still just absolute fucking morons.
So,
Yeah, that's
is
true.
the High Republic trying to show us that yes, Mace Windu could have died from that fall?
Yeah, they're putting some weight behind
but
it
I
now.
mean,
Kylo
he
Ren
wasn't
could have died from this
concentrating.
I'm just saying.
He
Everyone
wasn't
keeps saying-
deep in concentration.
everyone's theory about Mace Windu being alive is that Jedi can't die from these falls, and we be seeing Jedi fall and die a lot now.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, do we blame Avar for this?
No,
I mean, she
she-
technically had them all in
Well,
battle meditation.
I blame her for specifically what happened on Abdallas.
Mhm.
The other stuff is like casualties of like shit that's happened. She can't control every outcome.
I don't
But-
blame her specifically for that.
But bringing all the Jedi to one location and then another location getting hit, that's solely on her. Is she just a Jedi Master or is she the Grand Master?
She is just a master. She's not a grandmaster.
Yeah, so who's the Grand Master at this time? Do we know?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Is that it?
Yoda. No,
Yeah.
he was in the first issue of the book, wasn't he?
yeah. That's what I was gonna say.
In the comic.
Yeah, he was on one page very quickly. He was the one with like the Fu Manchu.
Hold up.
Yeah, it
I'll
was
put my
him and
picture back
Yoda
up.
that came in. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, him and
Is
Yoda.
Yoda
and they
still a
talked to
Grand Master
Avar.
this time?
I
know
hope.
he's in the
I think
comics.
he's like a co-grandmaster or something.
Yeah, he's one of 3, I think.
And then Yoda became the only one.
I can't
Jesus
imagine.
Christ, he's still a Grand Master for 200 years. These things don't get term limits?
No, what? There's no
What
term
the
limits on the Jedi Council.
Because they
Look at them.
they expect these people to die.
And then Yoda's
Term
like,
limits
"Joke's
when
on
you're
you. I'm gonna be
500
alive for another
years.
300 years."
Yeah, you need term limits if one of the guys is 900 years old.
So one
Yoda's
of
like the
them,
Mitch McConnell of the Jedi Council, honestly.
he was on that one page. He's got like the huge beard. His name is I'm gonna murder this, but Veeder. He was on the same panel as Yoda in the comic.
Hmm.
I was gonna say.
Do I still have my picture up? I do still have my picture up.
Darth Vader.
Oh, yeah. This guy. So these dudes are the Grandmasters.
Yeah, him and Yoda.
No, we're gonna share. You gonna share screen?
Why, do you want me to share the screen?
Do it.
Well, not for us, but for everyone else.
Do it for our loyal audience out there.
Where's my share button?
It's the one that says share screen.
Yeah, there we go. The Oppo.
Vader.
Yeah, but it says Jedi Council. It doesn't say that any of them is a Grand Master.
You scroll
Oh.
down, I think it has their titles like based on the rings that are surrounding their names.
Jesus Christ, where is this?
Yep, 2 rings is Grandmaster. Well,
So
2.
it's these two are the Grand Masters then, right?
Oh, okay, then yeah, Yoda's not a
Wait, this dude's a
grandmaster at this
knight.
point.
How is this dude a knight and a Grand Master?
Well, I think it's because if you look at Yoda's too,
Hold up.
it's like
Yoda doesn't
the
have two.
way it-
Yoda has one. He's not a Grand Master. He's a Jedi Knight at the
I think
time.
it's got to do with the color border.
Yeah, so the green means knight. The blue means master. The 2 rings mean Grand Master. So I don't know how you're a Grand Master and a knight. Because this is the border down here at the bottom.
he may have never taken on a Padawan.
Master.
Okay, so
so-
Yoda's just a knight.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the lightsaber color? Never mind. This is the lightsaber color. Right?
Well, no, but I'm with you. I mean, it could be their lightsaber color too.
It is.
but-
No, that's the lightsaber color.
This is confusing.
Yeah,
This
those
is
are
very
really-
confusing.
They're really fucking us here.
What do the circles mean?
So this dude got a green lightsaber and is a Jedi Master. This dude got a blue lightsaber and is a Jedi Grand Master. These 2 are Grand Masters. Yoda's not a Grand Master. He only has the 1 ring. And the 1 ring is it doesn't fucking say what the 1 ring is.
To rule them all. The One Ring is just knight, I thought, right?
Yeah,
Just
but
add
that's-
another
no,
ring on there and put it as Yoda.
I'm fucking confused by this thing. There's 2 rings because it's one's the color.
Yeah, I was gonna say this guy needs to come back and fix his legend over here. He's got to.
Oh, all right, I get it now. I get it
It's
now.
clear Yoda's a Padawan.
He is a Grand Master. He has 2 rings. The inner ring's the color of the lightsaber.
Hmm.
There you go.
Okay.
It's
These
not
ones-
just 2 rings, it's 2 of the same size ring.
So, all of these dudes are
Okay,
Grand
almost.
Masters. These 2 are Council Masters. I don't know what the
Yeah.
Council Master is.
Council Master is just like you're on the council, but we do not grant you the rank of Grand Master. So it's just Yoda and Vader that are Grand
What,
Masters.
what the fuck color is Vader's lightsaber? Because
Looks
it's a gray color.
silver.
Yeah, what the hell's going on?
The
Like a
silver saber.
Like a super sad blue.
That's depressing.
Yeah, because it goes Padawan, Knight Master, Council Master, Grand Master. So yeah. So basically, we got these 2 are Council Masters, these 2 are Grand Masters. Yoda kills Vader.
I,
It's
If
ironic.
you look at the right hand side, there's actually a 3rd Grandmaster, and it's just his name.
Is it Laru?
Yes.
Alright, well, we don't count these people. If you don't get a picture, I'm not counting you. I'm not fucking
Well,
start reading
it-
into rectangles.
Well, one of them technically, the 3rd one was in a hologram, so they have a picture. But
Alright, let's go. Let's see if any of these guys have personal relationships. So Yoda has a personal relationship with this person.
With Efru Shin? Scroll down. Does that mean that Yoda was his Padawan or that Efru Shin was Yoda's Padawan?
No, so
Oh, personal relationship.
personal relationship.
Ooh,
oh, okay.
spicy.
I was about to say, how personal, brother.
The chick from Test of Courage has a purple lightsaber. Very nice. Hold up.
Nice.
Where's my other one? Alright, let's see.
They've loaded.
Stellian Geos.
I like the Ithorian there. Mikkel Sitmani.
This is the guy that Yona was talking about, Rob Broccoli, that died.
Mhm.
Yeah, see.
Broccoli.
I think the gray is just they don't know what color the lightsabers are. They just don't care to
Oh.
tell us. Like we never find out what Rod's lightsaber is, and he dies. So who cares? So yeah, she got 2 rings. All right. So yeah, she's just a master. All right, we figured it out. The fucking color coding thing was confusing
Yeah, it's very confusing.
because they only show you the color on the night one, and that's just
Mhm.
we figured out. We talked it through. And we figured it out. Where'd Yona go?
Yeah, where did Yona go?
He's spinning lightsabers. Give him a few minutes.
He's spinning
Oh, he
lightsabers.
sent me a message. He goes, losing connection. I can hear you all but video rejoining. I think my computer bombed when you shared rejoining.
Oh no.
My bad. LOL.
Actually, I've been pleasantly
it's actually
surprised.
your bad, Colin.
I did say it was my bad. I was the one that said my bad in that text message.
Okay.
Listen, I shared the first time he was on. It was fine. I'm just gonna say right now, if sharing a screenshot makes your computer blow up,
Yeah, you might need a new one.
might need to invest in a new one. Listening to me there, Yona? Because he can hear us, he just can't see us.
Welcome back.
Can you hear me?
No, can't hear you.
So I did like the fact that the Nihil used chemical warfare.
Yeah.
Totally down for that. I mean, they clearly didn't get the hint from the Geneva Convention, but I'm also not going to be the one to tell them.
I'm kind of getting Vong vibes from them. They remind me a little bit, like, not that I read a whole ton of the Yuuzhan Vong type storylines, but like, you know, as opposed to fighting against like the Sith or the Imperial Remnant or anything like that, just fighting against a race of like, or a group, I guess, of unknown warriors from like unknown regions and just all kind of striking en masse. Like, it did give me a little bit of the Yuuzhan Vong type vibe, I guess.
I don't disagree with that. But I'm also with you. I didn't read too much into them.
Mm-hmm.
But I did think it's kind of funny that they made a point in the description to bring up the fact that their ships kind of just look like blocks. And then back to what I said. Yeah, back to what I was saying earlier about like the way they're using language to describe everything in here. I forget directly what they said, but they more or less said like their ships look more like weapons that you would beat somebody to death with, as opposed to like your standard warship. So I do like all the build-up language they're using. You know, like they're clearly they're leaving a lot still to the imagination, with the exception of like these guys kind of seem like they're here to do one thing, and that's just fucking kill you.
Mm-hmm.
Which I appreciate. You know, like I don't want a bunch of villains who are going to sit there and monologue and beat us down and then have some moral comeback at the end. Like, I just want the Nile to stay vicious.
Thrawn.
Yeah, that's
what I was just thinking. Exactly what I was just thinking.
You know, like I don't want some moral good guy. Like, I mean, some moral bad guy or some, you know, anti-hero or something. Like, nah, I want some real fucking villains. I love the fact that they're using chemical warfare, and I just want to see them behead people. I don't know what. I just want to see them start beheading everybody.
Yo, the Tabana gas thing, which they Charles Soule did that in his Star Wars comic with Lando.
Never read it.
Lando had Lobot fuck up something that caused the unrefined Tabana gas like shoot up into the air, so they could like make an escape or some shit. But so he could try and work out a deal to be like Jabba Hutt's like sole supplier of Tabana gas.
Oh, okay.
But it wasn't as trying to kill people.
Well, the Nihil, which let me tell you, I don't know. There's something about some of the pronunciations in this, because I really thought it was just going to be Nile.
Well,
right?
we know at
Like
least
the
one
river,
of the,
yeah.
we know one of the pronunciations is wrong.
That's true.
It's Markion Row, not Marchion Row. They tweeted about that.
God damn it, Mark Thompson. Playing with us. Yeah, just so everybody knows, they really accentuate that H in the audiobook. So what do you guys think is coming in part 2?
More of the Nile.
More of them, potentially them fighting the Nile. Hopefully. I want to know what their ambition is. I want to know what their agenda is.
It's probably going to be some high-profile space detective work first. Like, who could have done this?
Yeah, because I
bet it was the Nile.
I need the Jedi to be like, we fucked up. We took everyone to one spot, and something else got hit, and now 20 million people are dead, and it's because we didn't have anyone there.
I would really appreciate it if they took accountability and like ownership of that. And it's great because we don't have a Kiadi Mundi in the back that's just going to be like, oh, well, it's obviously not our fault. Like, And someone would be like, well, I bet the Nile did this. Would be like, no, the Nile aren't murders. No. Like,
Probably just jinxed that now.
probably did. It's a good
How-
thing Kiadi-Mundi isn't alive yet.
What's his lifespan? What's this?
I don't know what
lifespan?
Syrian lifespans are off the top of my head. Come
I
on, how
hope he
much credit do
shows
you
up.
give me?
He shows up as a Padawan. He's like, that can't be our fault. It's like, Padawan Mundi, you were supposed to be guarding that sector. It's like, well, it's not my fault.
They need to have a Nuremberg trial. I mean, now granted, Kiadi-Mundi got his at the end, but not enough. They should have just kept shooting.
Syrian middle age is 36 to 53 years. I'm assuming then that Syrians live to be at most like 100 or so.
No.
Venerable at 65 plus years, according to the role-playing game wiki. So, no, Kiadi-Mundi can't be alive at this point, unless by some miracle of modern medical science.
Yeah,
but
his
that was just
Maybe
grandfather
his
then.
grandfather is
Yeah,
alive.
Ryan is great.
I'd get so mad.
I mean,
That's what I want the least for this book. I hate Kiadi-Mundi so much. He's the
Regenerations.
worst goddamn Jedi. Stop it. I don't want to hear about his grandfather showing up.
I want to see an interaction between Skier and Buryaga.
Because you want to see the Wookiee against the
well, the
Trandoshan?
Wookiee gonna get his ass beat by the Trandoshan because
Clearly.
Trandoshans whoop all
Listen.
their asses.
Listen, Wookiees aren't to be trifled with.
That was worse than mine earlier.
They're not, but that's why they're hunted for sport.
Oh yeah,
Civil War.
you gotta watch Scorekeeper on YouTube. That shit was fire.
Mhm.
It was like Trandoshan Predator with Bosk.
I like the sound of that. I'll have to look into it. Any other predictions, lads?
What's part 2 called? It's called The Path, right?
I think so, yeah.
Something
yeah, it's
like
called
that.
The Paths, plural.
The paths.
Honestly, I want to, truthfully, because of this first part now, I want to see another massive feat with the Force. Like, now that, okay, we saw the battle meditation more or less, I'm like, now I want to see something. I can't help it. It's like, now I want more. I want to see something bigger this time.
Are you hoping they form like a giant force robot?
I mean, a little bit. Like, to an
Force
extent.
Voltron. Oh my god, that would be so good.
Well, come on. We're at the height of their power right now. Like, they're building Starlight Beacon. They can build Megazords if they really wanted to.
Damn right they can.
Damn right.
Steve, you look weird.
That's because my video's clipping in. Don't mind me.
All right, anything else, boys? I'm gonna say boys because Sierra's not here.
R.I.P.
Mhm.
Sierra.
I think that's a no.
So I will see you all in 2 weeks when we discuss part 2, The Paths. As we continue our discussion of Light of the Jedi by Charles Soule. And ask one more time if any of you guys have anything else to say before we get off, because not all of you, Yona be messaging me things he forgets.
Long live the Republic.
We are all
We are.
the Cut the Sith.
We are all hungry. 2 weeks.
Not
Be
me, though.
there
2 weeks.
or be over there. And check out my comic book reviews on YouTube. They suck, but, watch them anyways.